This is A.3, adding rational numbers. To add rational numbers, use the same rules as adding integers. And to add fractions, they must have a common denominator. So we have numerator over denominator, and the denominator is the bottom of the fraction. So you're going to add the numerators together, and the denominator stays the same. So we're going to find the sum of negative 8 over 3 plus 5 over 6. So we need a common denominator, so I'm going to change 8/3 to have a denominator of 6. So you multiply each by 2, you get negative 16 over 6, so I have negative 16 over 6 plus 5 over 6. Add the numerators, denominator stays the same, and you get negative 11 over 6. For negative 1/2 plus a negative 3/2, they already have a common denominator, so I add the numerators together. Negative 1 plus negative 3, that's going to be a negative 4. I can reduce that, so divide each by 2, which is negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. So for this one, we need to change this mixed number into an improper fraction. So that's whole number times denominator, 1 times 6, and then you add that to the numerator. 1 times 6 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So now I have 7 over 6 plus 2/3. Again, I need to make a common denominator. So I'm going to do 7/6 plus 4/6, which is 11 over 6. Leave your answer as an improper fraction in simplest form. I can also be adding decimals together. Here I see that the signs are the same, so the answer will be negative. So I add their absolute values together. So 0.4 plus 1.3 is 1.7. Line up the decimals when you add, and my answer needs to be negative, so it's negative 1.7. 1.65 plus 0.9 plus a negative 0.9, these have different signs. So I'm going to subtract, and my answer has the sign of the larger absolute value. So 1.65 minus 0.9 is 0.75. And that's my answer because it has the sign of the larger absolute value number. A few more examples. Negative 9/10 plus 3/5. Make a common denominator. And you get negative 9/10 plus 6 over 10 is negative 3/10. Adding these two fractions, I need a common denominator, but I have to change each of them. 3 and 4 both go into 12, so I'm going to make a common denominator of 12 for each. So this is now negative 9/12 plus a negative 4/12, which is a negative 13/12. And adding these two decimals, negative 2.5 plus 6.4. I'm going to subtract and take the sign from the larger absolute value number. Alright, the table shows the annual profits in millions of a company from 2013 to 2017. Positive numbers represent gains, and negative numbers represent losses. Describe the profit over the 5-year period. So I'm going to add them all together, but I notice that I have additive inverses in here, and those will equal 0. So I'm not going to do anything with those, and I'm going to add 4.75 plus 0.8. They have different signs, so I'm going to subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. So that's negative 3.95. Then I need to add that to 3.2. Again, that's subtracting and keeping the sign of the larger number. So that's negative 0.75. 0.75 million is $750,000. So we say the company had a loss of 0.75 million or $750,000.